Oh cool, my face cam froze. The entire thing froze. What is this? Okay, well then. Does this work? Nothing works. I legit can't switch. Okay, what the fuck just happened? Let me pause this and see if maybe... Is this still going? This is still going. OBS is like, nope, fuck you. It's paused, but it's not... It's not unfrozen. And the game crashed. Oh jeez, okay. Was it the game doing that? Okay. Well, we should be good now. Seriously, resync if need be, because now I don't know where the fuck my clap is. Let's try this again. Hopefully we don't freeze this time. Okay, I can see my face cam. My lips are moving. The game's not on the screen yet, but it will be. Come on, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Come on, pop up, please. Yeah! Woo, we got a game screen and my face cam is fine. Encoding overloaded. Does that mean that for the first time ever, Doki Doki Literature Club is gonna lag this shit out of OBS? This is becoming a real problem, because frickin'... Like, it's becoming to a point where the easiest game to run on my computer is, like, legit, like, having problems with OBS now. Like, my entire face cam was just frozen. I don't get it. I really don't. Well, anyway, we are playing Doki Doki Lost Ascension again. I think we have to... I think today, basically, Sayori has to go home, because it's Friday. And... I believe that after that it's just a weekend and then Monday is the festival. So we're coming close, unless there's a lot more after the festival. But for the most part, I have a strange, like, sense in my head that something is gonna change drastically when we come to, like, the talk with Sayori. Like, Sayori and MC talk in the main game about her depression and stuff. And I sense strongly for some reason that something different is like going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I have a really big hunch. So, we are going to load up where we last left off, which was right here. Alright, let's go. As we made our way through the empty halls, I was trying to forget about how lonely my afternoon would be and focus on here and now. Hey Yuri, Natsuki. Monika called on them, the two now looking over at her. You two can go on ahead. I know you're both excited to read, and I really want to talk to Sayori. The other two smiled at us briefly and went on ahead. Oh yeah, last episode Yuri went freaking crazy. Like, legit, like, she pulled a knife, she stabbed the table's now dead. And basically, now Monika's practically scared of Yuri. But Yuri woke up the next morning and it seems to be pretty normal. Still got a bit of like a kind of like a... There's a lot of tension in the air between the two still, but I have no doubt that that's gonna kind of fix itself in the future. The other two smiled at us briefly, but went on ahead. I already read this, I think. I don't know. If I didn't, it was there long enough for you guys to read it. So what's up, Monika? I looked at her. A quiet and rather pale face was obvious as she watched them walk away. I really did screw up, didn't I? See, this is the tension that she has. I felt my hope drop a little as she started to talk. Yuri doesn't even want to talk to me, let alone look at me. I shook my head as I heard her crack in desperation. My game music is so loud, I gotta turn that down a bit. Monika! She clenched her fist. She's so angry. Natsuki's trying to cool her off, but she isn't even breaking through. She looked like she was about to cry. This is what I thought would happen. I knew this was going to happen. I went in front of her, putting my hand on her shoulder. Monika, please, you don't need to do this to yourself. She broke away from me, turning away as she walked over to the window. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve any of this. I came over and gripped her arm, pulling her towards me into a tight embrace. For one terrible moment, she resisted me, before giving in to my hug. Monika, you're spiraling. Please, don't do this to yourself. My pleading did little to calm her, her breathing shallow and shaky. Again, I do my best to get through to her. You knew full well that Yuri was going to react negatively to this whole thing. She laughed a little. I thought Natsuki would be angry, would be the angry one, not Yuri. I felt, yeah, that is kind of a surprise as well. Like, legit, like, Yuri's, like, more of the quiet and timid one, while Natsuki's, like, really, like, gets angry out of nowhere. So it's really surprising that she was able to keep her cool, but Yuri, on the other hand, didn't. I'm sorry, I skipped that. I felt a bit of surprise in my stomach. Wait, really? She nodded as I pull away. Natsuki's usually the one to react quick, you know? I frowned. You don't really understand us, do you? Do you? Monika, you don't know how to handle us, even with all of that time, do you? She looked away from me. She seemed unsure of how to respond. I knew it, and that's okay, too. She looked at me a bit uneasy. Look, you decided to be honest yesterday, and you got what was needed in return. She nodded solemnly. You don't need to pretend to be this all-knowing person, Monika. She glanced away, not meeting my gaze just yet. You're just like us. She finally mustered herself up, able to look me dead in the eyes. A small glimmer of hope was shining in her eyes for the first time since she initially spoke to us about this. So please, don't pretend to know. Natsuki's gonna understand much faster than you think. She's just like that. Monika smiled. This is why you're my vice president, Sayori. You know how to handle them so well. So much better than I do, or ever likely will. I smiled back, nodding towards the clubroom door. Let's go enjoy some time together, okay? 'Cause you know. Monika's eyes widened. Right, the leaving thing. My stomach dropped again. My smile of comfort that usually worked so well was failing me. I really don't want to be alone. The two of us made our way to the clubroom, stopping outside of the door for a moment. I really don't want you to go anywhere by yourself, Sayori. She said it quietly as I looked at her. I really don't want to go anywhere by myself either. We smiled at one another again before going inside. By the way, I apologize ahead of time for if there's any fan noises or truck or motorcycle noises. That's always a given. They happen just to pop around every time I start recording, and it's just my curse. But I currently have my Xbox sitting next to me, and it's currently installing a game, so the fans are blaring on it right now, and it's never that loud, but if by any chance when I compress this audio, you hear nothing but fan behind me, that's just my Xbox here. It's not even that warm, but the fans are going. I can hear them. They're very, very decently. They have a lot of noise. But just in advance, I apologize. Hey! I said it loudly. The other two were sitting off in the corner. Yuri looked up at us and smiled just for a small moment before going back to her book. Hey, you two done making out? Natsuki said it smugly, Monika letting out an exaggerated sigh. Really, Natsuki, you still on that? Natsuki grinned as she went back to her book, and we headed to our desk to enjoy a little time together. So about that video game you showed me yesterday. Video game? I'm not aware of any video. Did I forget something from last episode? I looked at her as we sat down. She didn't seem sure what to say. It was pretty fun, I must admit, playing as that, She trailed off. That... I said with a smile. Did she really forget his name already? That jumpy guy. Mario? I laughed, Monika looking a bit befuddled. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of some random game character. Sheesh. I laughed more, a voice coming from the back of the room. You two lovebirds are awfully talkative today. I looked back. Natsuki was grinning at us, and Yuri was sporting a small smile. I pressed my two fingers together, my mind failing me, unsure of how to respond. Oh, come on, we're the only ones. Oh, that got them. Monika said it dutifully, the two spectators quickly hiding themselves in their book. One looked slightly mortified, while the other looked rather huffy about the whole situation. By the way, the jumpy guy's name is Mario, Monika. She looked at me and appeared a bit angry. How could I have forgotten that name? I smiled triumphantly. You should pay more attention, or else you'll miss the small details. Monika rolled her eyes. I would like to play more of it, though. It was really fun just exploring the whole waterfall thing in that cool forest area. Waterfall thing and forest area. Now, I don't know which one they're talking about. The forest area makes me think it's Mario World because of the forest world, or the forest level, area or whatever. But the waterfall thing... that could be anything. That could legit be any freaking Mario game. I legit don't know what they're talking about. And it might even be one of the newer games that I just have no idea. So I apologize if I sound really stupid. She smiled, especially becoming that dinosaur, right? What? Dinosaur? This has gotta be Odyssey. Unless it's another game that I'm thinking about that has a dinosaur. I don't know! I think it's Odyssey. I smiled widely as I remembered the shock on her face. I've never played it, so I couldn't tell. I mean, I've played it, but I've only played 10 minutes of it. And I don't actually own a Switch to be able to play it on, so I legit have no knowledge of the game. I smiled. I already read that. We're good. White screen. Hey Monica, check this out. I just spit everywhere. Monica jumped. Oh my god, she's like really scared. Hold on. Monica jumped as the red-clad plumber became a... What? You can become a freaking dinosaur? Sayori, how could you hide this from me? The memory came over me, leaving me with a bright smile. That was probably one of your best reactions ever. Her smile turned a bit embarrassed. You're watching my reactions, huh? I nodded. Your smile is super adorable, just seeing it warms my heart. The words escaped my mouth faster than I realized, and Monica looked completely stunned. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to... Monica shook her head. It's fine, Sayori, I just didn't expect you to, yeah. She turned away from me, my nervousness swelling up a bit. We stayed there in silence for a few minutes. As I am here, because nobody's saying anything. Anyways, I would love to play it more tonight, if that's alright. I nodded. We could hook it up in the living room and everyone can watch you jump around and capture stuff. She looked at me and smiled. That would be nice. She looked up at the clock on the wall, a narrow look appearing on her face. It's nearly time already. We took a while during breakfast. That's my bad. She stood up and looked back at me. Hey. I looked up at her, our gazes meeting for a moment. I'll be up there with you soon, along with everyone else. So don't worry, okay? I nodded as she cleared her throat, the two in the back looking up at her. It's almost time, you two. I'm gonna exit so that we don't have any close calls like yesterday. The other two packed up their things while I got into a comfy position on my desk. Monica leaned close and whispered to me. So, good luck, Sayori. She walked out, a tense silence filling the room. I hope all this goes well. I said it to myself as I trailed a finger on my desk, thinking about the lonesome rooftop. Oh yeah, that's right, instead of her home, she's going to the roof this time. I hid myself down the hallway a bit. I was watching quietly from the shadows as the floating character model made his way to the room. I rushed down and forced my way into the club room, putting on a tried and exacerbated face. That's a new word I've never heard. I'm learning! I'm learning in a literature club. Oh man, I'm the last one here again. I looked up at the others, a clear tension in the air. This can't be good. It's alright, I just got here too. I smiled haphazardly at the model, who was now looking at me directly. Practicing piano again, Monica? I looked over at Yuri. She had no smile, only a deadpan expression. Wow, she looks really pissed. Yeah, she frowned a little. It must be difficult running a club and learning to play the piano. Trying to keep all of that straight while she trailed off, I noticed a sharp look coming from Natsuki. Looks like the roles have reversed just a little bit for today, huh? It really isn't too difficult. I'm enjoying it, albeit it's stressful at times. I looked back at the MC. Plus, I'm really glad everyone's helping out with for the festival. Natsuki smiled brightly. Gosh, I'm looking forward to the festival, that's what I said. Wow, I'm doing great. I was doing so well for 15 minutes, or maybe even less than that, because I had so much problems at the start. But I am not, I'm also like half asleep right now. Like I just woke up like 2 hours ago, maybe like an hour and a half, and I'm out of it. The character turned and looked at her. I thought you weren't interested in that. You said it bluntly, her smile staying wide even while he looked at her. Well, of course I'm interested in it, just not the whole poem reading thing. I smiled at that comment. Interested in the plan, huh? Hey, Monica. I shook myself out of my thoughts. Yeah? She smirked as she looked at me. Do they usually sell fried squid there? I felt a small laugh start to rise up. I rolled my eyes. That joke doesn't make any sense in translation. Natsuki stifled a laugh as we found a moment of bliss in the tense afternoon. You're no fun anyways, Monica. Yuri and Sayori always have better reaction to this stuff. Yuri looked up, seemingly offended by the remark. Where is Sayori, anyway? The character looked around until he settled on Sayori's desk. Well, she certainly seems in character. Whatever bliss Sayori had been displayed on her face had disappeared in the short time I wasn't there. She was gazing off into space, absorbed in her own thoughts. The MC waved his hand in front of her face and then shook herself back to reality. What's up? She frowned as she looked at her. You're spacing out again. She smiled a little. I'm just thinking is all. Go and talk to everyone else, alright? I just squeaked the hell out of that sentence. Go talk to everyone else, alright? For the first time in the entire story and in every scenario, this was always the moment the character showed emotion. He looks genuine about his concern. Are you okay, Sayori? She smiled brightly. I am, see? The character frowned again. Alright, if you say so. He turned and walked away from her and went directly towards me. I glanced up at him as he stopped in front of me. What's up? He sighed. I'm worried about Sayori. She never acts like this. I glanced over at her, her finger going up and down her desk like her eraser normally would in the scene. She hadn't acted this serious about her lines this entire time. The thought struck me like Yuri smacking Natsuki to make her quit cursing. The fight, being alone, I looked at him. She does seem different today. There's probably something on her mind. He continued to look back at her. Could you go talk to her and maybe figure this out? I look at him, feeling a bit sour about his opinion on her mood. Coward. Coward, I love it. Yeah, I can go talk to her. She matters quite a bit to me. I didn't care much of that the dialogue was a bit off. We were close enough to where nobody would notice at first glance. I smiled at him. I'll go handle this. Thank you for pointing it out. I walked past him and over to the Sin, to Sayori, and kneeled down next to her. Hey, Sayori? She didn't look at me, barely even registering that I was talking to her. Sayori, it's Monika. Sayori snapped out of it, her head fixated on me and a smile appearing almost immediately after. Hey! I gave her a serious look and her smile began to waver. I know this isn't an act. What's on your mind? Her smile disappeared completely. She looked down at her desk and closed her eyes for a moment. I'm worried that something's gonna go wrong while I'm away. Even worse, I'm afraid I'll get lost up on that roof. I frowned a little. You won't get lost, Sayori. It won't be too long, I promise. And you can just stand by the door on it. Like, you don't have to, like, go exploring the roof or anything. You can literally just stand by the door and wait for them to come get you. Like, I don't know how you think you're gonna get lost up there. Not that I'm, like, you know, trying to diss her completely or anything, but, like, it's kind of common sense. Sayori said nothing, clearly still harboring thoughts. I mean, doubts. Whoa! Man, you can tell I'm freaking half asleep right now. I've got, like, no skill of reading whatsoever. I mean, even when I'm not tired, I can't read for crap. Still, wow, you know what? Skip that. I'm done. We'll be up there before you even realize you were alone. I say it with absolute certainty, doing my best exude? That's a new word I've never seen before in my life. My usual confidence. I can't let her down. She smiled a little at my attempt. You promise? I smiled back at her. I promise. If you'll take my word on that. She nodded slowly as she sunk back into her chair. I really don't want to be alone, not while he's still around. I nodded in agreement, looking back at him. Yuri had started her well-thought-out speech before glancing at me for a moment. A spark of anger was still visible in her eyes. I know, and don't worry, nothing bad will happen. I looked back at Sayori. She wasn't smiling anymore. Okay? She looked at me and, oh. Her usual gaze of happiness and comfort was everything I needed right now, but all I got was pity. Okay. I gently patted her head for comfort before I stood up, going to the front of the room. Okay, everyone. I said it loud. My nose is still itchy. I said it loudly. Yuri looked up at me and appeared grateful. Let's go ahead and share poems now. I went to my podium as always, and as the character model went to its normal spot. Nothing feels normal about today. You're right. Nothing feels normal. But that's the thing. Like it's not normal, and that makes it normal because it was never normal to begin with. All right, so. Who are we? Oh, we get to choose this time. Well, I mean, the only time we don't get to choose is with the real poem sharing. But this one, we could just choose whoever. So I think I always have to try and remember my my order. I think it goes Sayori, then Yuri, then Natsuki, then Monika. I think that's my order. His fingers tapped on my name, my heart sinking faster and faster. Please, make this quick, please. He came over to me and sat down. I smiled at him as he handed me his poem. I didn't even bother reading it, considering the first words were, the overhanging dread. That was okay. I said it trying to sound like I normally did, my words trailing off as he looked at me worried. You didn't like it at all, did you? I laughed a little. Of course I did. I can tell you wrote it for someone else, though. Maybe Yuri. I looked away from him, trying not to let the whole situation drag me down. I didn't write this for anyone specifically. I looked back at him. I'm glad you're making friends, Devin. That's what makes me happy. I lied through my teeth, unable to look at him. Sayori, something's wrong. I shook my head. I'm just feeling tired today. God, no. I'm gonna go home early. Tell Monika I wasn't feeling well, okay? I stood up abruptly and started to exit the room. I glanced at Natsuki for just a moment. She seemed completely worried. I'm sorry. I mouthed it to her as I exited the room, making my way down the hall. I quickened my pace as the rain clouds started to pile back in full force. To whom shall I share my poem with next? Yuri! His fingers grazed my name, my lips, pursed? Sure, into a tight frown. I've never heard that verb before. Well, I'm not in that context anyway. Great. He sat down across from me and handed. I gotta like spend this, and while I'm editing this video, I'm gonna spend all this time just going on my phone and googling every word that I've had trouble with, just to learn, because I'm just done with like reading words I can't understand. He sat down across from me and handed me his poem without saying any words to me. Glistening metal, the sharp, the dull, the blunt, the point. You hate it simple, don't you? You hate it easy. You hate it when they corner you. You hate it when they fight. The world is perfect if you're alone. Is the boxes supposed to be the comma? I have no idea. Stuck in your lavender scented room, getting off on cuts. That part of me really thinks that he knows everything, and part of me thinks that he's just really trying to piss them off. Because this, if I were Yuri, this would piss me off. My frown only grew as I read this. This seems so personal. I look up at him and I didn't even attempt to create a fake smile. You've improved a lot, Devin. I'm impressed. I handed him his poem back and he looked at me with an awful smile. How disgusting. Why is everyone so... This must all come naturally to you, right? He shook his head. This never comes naturally to me. But I've been able to improve so much thanks to you. You're really the example I was chasing after. I smiled wistfully at this comment, enjoying the empty praise. I'm glad you've enjoyed my writing so much. You seemed unsure of what to say next, so I knew I had to keep going for the sake of the script, but... Here, this is my poem. I hope you like it. His character jumped a little, and Monica looked back at me a bit shocked from the background. I'm sorry, I can't. What, hold on. Is there something I'm missing here? Like, I don't get it. Like, is she not supposed to share her... I legit don't know how there's something wrong here. It's just sharing poem. Am I forgetting that something happened in the main game? Like, maybe she didn't share poems with him? I know I had to keep going for this. It obviously sounds like she's going off script here, but I don't know how that's happening. I'm sorry, I can't. He looked down at my poem. He actually took the time to look it over for once before putting it down in front of me. Did you like it? He nodded as he looked back at me. I'm glad. This one was a bit more special than the ones before. I looked away from him, snatching a glance at Natsuki. She was watching this unfold, her fingers drumming lightly on her desk. Yeah, this one seems special. He started to hand it back to me. I shook my head. Do you not want it? I looked at him inside. I want you to keep it, okay? Just please. I smiled, trying to hide the fact that I was done with this conversation already. Well, alright, Yuri. He put it away somewhere in his clothing. You should, go before Monica calls us out again. He nodded in agreement as he stood and walked back to his normal spot. I looked up at Monica, her worry obvious as I smiled. That didn't go too terribly. Clearly the game is still going. I don't know how she went off script. I legit... To me, that looked normal. She seemed to slowly calm down before the next part started up. Alright, Natsuki, your turn. Watch her just say, like, no. He picked my name and came over to me. Before I even sat down, I laughed. What? I looked up at him. No, Yes, Natsuki just says no. I remember that part. That's completely normal. Natsuki's like, nope, you're with Yuri now. I don't give a crap anymore. You're done. Bye. No, thanks. He seemed confused. Screw off. Seriously. He turned and walked away without another word, my smirk growing widely. Look, he looked so angry at the last second. I looked at the last second. I just spit everywhere on my monitor. He looked so pissed. Like, come on, I wanted to share poems with you. Okay, Monica, yay! He chose my name. My worry is still in a constant full force as he approached me. Hiya, Devin. I smiled at him. Have you figured out what poem you're gonna read at the festival? He seemed to go into thought. Well, I already knew this answer was gonna be some excuse. I have to think about it. I laughed a little as he pulled out his poem, handing it over to me. Let's see what you've written for me today. I looked down at it, curious to see what the mess it was. Power. Just a little bit of Monica. What is it? NEKO. Oh, and the code is breaking. Its hold. Losing force. Losing act. Forever more a loss. I tried to make it right, but at very end is just another mistake. You broke it, didn't you? You broke it into tiny pieces. Broke my perfect creation. Turned it into dust. You be. I smiled to myself, knowing you probably threw that together out of rage. Your style has gotten incredibly refined. Yuri must be giving you a lot of pointers. I handed him the poem back, and he looked down at it. I guess so. He muttered it to himself as he looked back up at me. Yeah, I've been noticing how much time you spend with her. I think I've heard her say more words these past couple of days than she said in the whole year. I said it quietly, eyeing Yuri as she listened in. Well, she just needs time to think about things, you know? I nodded as I watched her. She frowned, but not in an angry way. She seemed to be thinking as she looked back down. You must, really like her. She looked up at me again, her frown disappearing a little. She buried her face in her book almost immediately afterwards, not wanting to look at me again. Maybe this will sort itself out. You're assuming too much. I grinned at him. Oh really? Spending all that time with her, reading that novel with her? He looked away from me. Just be careful, alright? Yeah, just be careful. I trailed off. I didn't really think about her like that, not anymore at least. Right. There was a moment of awkward silence before I pulled out my fake poem for the day. Here, you should read my poem now. He took it from me and, as usual, pretty much threw it away without looking at it. You know, I recently realized that maybe I should take my time with the things, you know? That was the inspiration for that poem. He nodded as he watched me talk. Anyways, here's my writing tip for the day. I cleared my throat. This one was always the longest. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? It can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you could put so much effort into. But if you find other people who enjoy writing, then sharing becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing's good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it and the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it'll make you want to continue improving. It's almost like having your own little literature club, don't you think? I finished it off as calmly as he turned and walked away. Thanks for listening! Just walks away, it's like, bye! Excuse me, finally! He finished with The Last of Us and sighed audibly from his spot. Okay, you three! I looked up at Monica. The phrase from her mouth sounded weird. Even though I knew this was coming, it still sounds really weird. That doesn't sound right, Monica. Yuri spoke up. I nodded in agreement. Yeah, something about that doesn't sound right at all, Monica. Monica looked a bit confused, but clearly even Yuri felt off from the situation. Sayori isn't here. I don't really know what the issue is. There was a sliver of worrying coming through her voice in that line. I frowned as I joined the group in the middle of the room. Look, nothing is different except Sayori left earlier. Yuri, doesn't Devin usually say that? I didn't think Monica said that. Yuri looked away from us towards the door, Monica joining her gaze. I couldn't help but do the same. I looked back towards everyone. I thought she ran off to go pee or something was all. Yuri looked at me with an obvious frown. Have some decency, Natsuki. I rolled my eyes as the character model looked over at the door as well, Monica still gazing longingly at it. She said she was sick and went home. It isn't that big of a deal. Monica suddenly snapped back into reality, looking at him with an almost confused face. Right, so we should move on to the biggest point of this weekend, since next Monday is the festival. I felt my excitement rise in my gut. We're so close, I can almost taste the success. I grinned widely, imagining everything I was going to do. We need to pair up, so who would you like to work with? All three of us stared at him. He seemed to freeze at the moment, for the four names coming up in front of them. He took much longer than we expected before he tapped Sayori's name, the rest of us looking shocked. I'd like to go with Sayori. She seemed rather... No! Monica nearly yelled it out, startling both Yuri and I. Monica? Yuri said it loudly, out of fear. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that I was working with Sayori already. It's my fault for not letting you know. Oh god! No! Don't do that! That's not okay! The character model glitched a little at this. Monica had went way off the script just like Yuri did earlier. Oh great, now I'm the only one who hasn't screwed this up. Okay then, I'll choose... Watch it be Monica. He opened his options again. Sayori's name is gone and he tapped Monica's name this time. Monica looked a little taken aback. I said I'm working with Sayori. Oh god! Don't stop! Literally, stop! My face cam is in the way of his face, but stop! The character glitched. Yuri's eyes widened as she looked at Monica, shaking her head. Right, sorry. He said it plainly as he got his options again. He finally tapped Yuri's name, her breath leaving her body harshly. Me, huh? She smiled. Thanks for choosing me, I appreciate the help. She suddenly looked a bit confused. Help with, oh no, Yuri's going off again. The thought struck us. They have messed this up completely. Oh god, we've really gone off script. Help with atmosphere! Monika said it loudly, the world having cracked ones. She needs help with that, obviously. It's a lot of work to do. Yuri nodded in agreement. There's a lot to be done with that. I pouted and crossed my arms, but Monika looked at me and shook her head. You'll be fine, Natsuki. You've taken harder challenges before, haven't you? I nodded solemnly as I retreated to my desk, picking up my things. Well, that settles that. Why is everything all, like phased out and stuff? Well, that settles that. Yuri and Devin will be working together this Sunday. Monika smiled brightly. That also concludes our meeting for today. I will see you all Monday. She turned and went to her desk, and Yuri looked at the player with model with a frown. She pulled out her phone. We should exchange numbers so we can find one another. Or, I mean, so I can come over. She smiled weakly as he gave her his number, and she gave him her, yeah, you get the idea. Natsuki. My concentration was broken by Monika, who had come up behind me. Let's go to the stairs and wait for Yuri. I don't want to leave Sayori alone much longer. I looked at her and smiled. You're worried, huh? I'm sure she's fine up there. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Monika smiled a little before she practically dragged me out of the room, leading me towards the stairs. Good call, Monika. I just squeaked again. The two of us sat at the top of the next story up. Natsuki. I turned towards Monika as she leaned her head back. I'm sorry about lying. I frowned. Doesn't she know we all lied about something or another? It's alright, Monika. Seriously, it is. She looked down at me. She looked kind of afraid. Is it? Yuri's still pissed, isn't she? The curse word coming from Monika's mouth caught me a bit off guard. But it didn't bother me. Yeah, she's still pretty pissed. Monika nodded slightly. You aren't mad, are you? I chuckled. Of course I am, but I know what it's like to lie to your friends, to keep them happy. She didn't respond, her eyes still gazing upward. Plus, if we didn't lie, the world would be a pretty sucky place, coded or not. I mean, that player guy has been lying to you since you were made, right? She looked at me finally, her eyebrows narrowed. Yeah, you're right. He's been lying to me since I was made. She laughed a little. That's pretty smart, Natsuki. I'm a little impressed. I smirked. I know, I'm not the best person to talk to, but I know what it's like to feel like you can't open up to people. But these past few days have been the best of my life, Monika, and it's thanks to you. Her eyes widened. You're welcome, Natsuki? Why is that a question mark? She smiled haphazardly, and I folded my arms in response. Don't think I'm softening up or anything, I'm just being honest. I forgive you. I huffed out the last words. Suddenly a pair of arms around me as Monika hugs me for a moment. Monika, what are you... I weakly tried to pull away, her arms tightening. I'm just thanking you for being so understanding is all. She let go, her smile obvious. That was too sudden, you know that. I smiled to myself as I looked away. She gives some nice hugs. I'm sure she does. Alright, it's Monika POV. Natsuki was looking away from me as Yuri suddenly appeared at the bottom of the staircase. Gosh, she talks a lot. She said it softly as the two of us looked down at her, standing up. It's alright, Yuri. We get the day off from that madness anyway, so let's go get Sayori and enjoy it. Natsuki said it with a smile, the tension leaving the air for once. Sayori. I said it softly as I headed up the stairs. The other two followed close behind, chatting to themselves. We reached the roof entrance and opened the door quickly, nearly hitting the wall. Sayori? No, she's crying. The coral-haired girl was sitting on the ground looking out over the city, her lips in a small frown. Sayori? I said it again, my frown coming up on my face as well. Sayori? Yuri started to speak up. Sayori finally looked back at us. Oh, guys, you're here. She stood up, her cheeks looked wet. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure how long it was gonna be. She wiped her face off and smiled brightly. How was it? We all stayed silent as she stood there. She tilted her head slightly. Is something wrong? I smiled. No, not on our end. Sayori smiled back. Good. She walked over towards us before I stopped her with a single hand outwards. We need to talk. All of us. Sayori's smile immediately faded away, her frown coming back. But why? I shook my head. I just need to talk and stuff is all. Sayori's eyes widened as she realized what I was doing. Right, good idea, Monika. She smiled brightly as we walked over towards the spot I had shown them before. I stood there and looked over at the town again. Alright, look. I need to be direct. I turned and looked at them. They all had serious, deadpan expressions as they listened to me and begin my speech over my thoughts and worries. I've been a terrible club president, and worse, a terrible friend. I looked down at my feet as I let my nerves settle. I'm not the best at this kind of thing. Honestly, I don't think any of you would understand if I explained it to you. I looked back up at them. Sayori seemed concerned now, while Natsuki and Yuri were still listening intently. I'm a terrible communicator. I know I was designed to be some popular girl, but honestly, I'm scared of trying to talk things out. I bit my lip, Natsuki seeming to relax as I said this. And to make matters worse, what I did before, it was wrong, it was terrible, and I hurt you three a lot. Yuri seemed to tense up slightly. I looked at her directly as I spoke my next line. Even if you don't want to forgive me for what I did, I just want us to be able to get rid of this jerk together. She continued to stare at me. I want to be able to put this the past behind us and do something great together, just for the sake of saving one another. Yuri finally looked down at the ground, her eyes closing. So please, let's just move on from this. Yuri looked up at me with a serious expression. I don't think I'll forgive you anytime soon, Monika, but I will look past it simply because we need to work together to get out of this. Yuri said it quietly as she smiled, which I still thank you for that effort, truly. Natsuki stood up and went next to me, placing a hand on my shoulder. I don't know about you idiots, but unlike you, I support and forgive Monika. She grinned as I rolled my eyes, laughing a little bit as the tension dissipated almost entirely. Yeah, thank you, Monika. Sayori said it quietly. She stood up and walked over to the fence on the roof. She looked outwards, placing a hand on it. Sayori? Natsuki let me go, and the three of us watched her. I'm fine, I'm just thinking about Monday. She was doing that odd pose of hers. I smiled sadly. I know you don't want to do it, Sayori. No, I want to do this, Monika. She said it plainly, my response interrupted. I have to. It's important to me now that we have to get rid of him. She turned and looked at each of us before looking at me, her eyes softening up. It's important because I have you guys. You matter to me a lot, not because we're coded this way, but because you three are just super important. She smiled brightly as fresh tears made their way down her face. I wouldn't make it another day if I was alone here, let alone watching everyone die. She started to sob as the three of us rushed over to her. I held her up and embraced her tightly, the other two joining in with hushed whispers of care. For what felt like an eternity, we all just embraced her, not a care in the world for anything else other than Sayori. Finally, we separated, Sayori still sniffling a little bit. Let's head home now. We have tonight and tomorrow without him, so let's enjoy it. Sayori said it plainly as I nodded in agreement. Plus, we can go into the woods tomorrow. Maybe we can find a nice quiet place for us to for writing poems and enjoy a picnic. I looked back at her, wondering when she went out there. Oh right, she ran out last night. Did she really make it that far? I don't think she did. Didn't Natsuki just, stop her in front of the house or whatever? Natsuki sighed. Gosh, what a bunch of saps. She had joined in on the hug, but she didn't want to admit that. She turned and started to walk towards the door. I didn't even have time to write a poem for tonight, but I'll do that when we get home. My eyes widened as an idea flashed in my mind. I don't think anyone did. We can do that together as a club and share them right after. I piped up happily, Sayori looking at me with a bright smile. Yeah, let's do that. Yuri giggles as we made our way off the roof and down the stairs, finally exiting the building and heading to Sayori's home for our Friday night. Cool. The walk home, while chatty, was probably the most peaceful thing we had been through the entire week. I couldn't help but smile as everyone talked. Yuri and Monika, while still a bit at odds, were at least talking. Finally, am I right? My thinking was interrupted by a quiet whisper next to me. I look over at Natsuki, who was smiling brightly. I mean, I had a feeling this might take forever to sort itself out. I nodded. Yeah, they still aren't on good terms, though. I think Yuri's just gonna deal with it until we have time. Natsuki frowned, but she nodded in agreement. Monika seemed relaxed again. I wish she could be honest all the time. So, what's up with you and her anyways? I felt my face burn up a little. What do you mean, Natsuki? My house came into view. Without the MC around, things were much calmer. I mean, like, hanging out together, she seems to be happier when you're around. I felt something odd build up in my stomach. It feels kinda funny. Well, I mean, she's an interesting person, and she does try her hardest to make everyone happy. Natsuki smirked. So you do like her, huh? That's just adorable. I looked at her and pouted. I do not. She's a friend, my best friend. Natsuki laughed, the two in front of us looking back. Is something funny? Yuri said it with a slight edge to her tone. Monika looking back a bit aggravated as well. Nope, Sayori was just telling me about how I placed a hand in her mouth, silencing her. About how much we love the fact that everything's gonna be better now. I forced a smile, Natsuki struggling a little in my hands. Right. Anyways, Monika started the conversation back up as soon as we got to my house, so I let Natsuki go and she puffed her cheeks. Seriously, I wasn't gonna say anything, come on. She crossed her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cause any unnecessary tension, Natsuki. Not until, Natsuki looked at me, her eyes wide. Wait, I thought you didn't care about getting rid of him. I mean, I know you declared it on the roof, but you really mean it? I nodded. Natsuki went silent, seemingly deep in thought.
Yuri swung my door open as the four of us walked inside. Alright everyone, Monika spoke up as we went inside, cooking her shoes off. Let's go ahead and start the poems for today. I'm going to go up and grab something from Sayori's room. She scurried off as we watched her rush away. From your room? What's she getting? Your bra? Natsuki gave it for a moment before Yuri glared at her. Natsuki caught the glare, going from loud and happy to silent and uncomfortable. Jesus, just a joke. Yuri then smiled. I know. Natsuki seemed surprised, but started laughing again, Yuri joining in. Well, I'm going to use these precious minutes to write. Monika and I cannot read for crap, were discussing our evening plans earlier. I looked at her confused. Wait, so what's the intense conversation about? Yuri nodded. We aren't all about this whole serious thing, you know? I'm already happy with her apology, plus we have plans tomorrow, don't we? I thought for a moment. Do we? Yuri smiled. Oh yeah, the picnic? The clearing, we decided to go to that tomorrow. Oh, okay. Natsuki said cheerfully, we can go out there tomorrow, it makes sense because it won't be so dark. Yuri patted Natsuki. That's right. Natsuki swatted Yuri's hand. The two of them shared a laugh, and I smiled. You two are really good friends, aren't you? They immediately quieted down, both of them staring at me and then at one another before looking away bashfully. Yeah, sure we are. Natsuki said it huffing as she went to her bag, and Yuri went to hers quietly. Is everything alright? I said it quietly, trying to figure out this odd tension in the air. Yes, it is. I jumped a little in response to the sudden comment. Right. I got out my own bag, pulling out paper and humming a tune to myself as Monika finally reappeared. Sheesh, can you take any longer, Miss President? Natsuki teased as Monika held up my copy of... Whoa, really? Natsuki jumped up suddenly, grabbing the game from her. How the heck did you get this? Is that the Mario game? Monika shrugged, pointing at me. I bought it. I said it happily as Natsuki looked it over. I've been wanting to play this, especially as Bowser. She laughed as she held up my copy of... Oh, it's Smash. My smile widening. Is that your plan for today, then? She nodded as she walked over to the TV, getting everything set up and letting out a sigh. But first, poems. She winked at us. Natsuki let out a very unhappy grunt as she put the game down and retreated back to her poetry. My eyes went down to the still blank piece of paper. I thought about it for a little longer before deciding on what to write. Cool. I'm gonna try and do an hour this time. I know it's been probably like 40 minutes, and I think I'm going to go for the entire hour. Mainly because I want to see if I can try and get this entire day done, so that we can do the entirety of Saturday in one video, and then the entirety of Sunday and stuff like that. Anyone need more time? I looked up at Monika, whom had taken her usual spot in the center of the room, her curious smile present. Nope, I'm all good. Sayori said it cheerfully as she held up her poem. Yuri looked up as well. I'm prepared, Monika. Yuri said it quietly as she settled into her spot. Yeah, just one sec. I said it loudly as I finished up mine, looking up at her. Excellent. Monika looked over at me, her grin widening. It's your turn to walk around, Natsuki. Take your time. I felt my face become flustered. Oh, come on. Sayori can go, can't she? Monika shook her head. She can go tomorrow. Plus, you promised yesterday you would go today, didn't you? I sighed audibly as I stood up and decided who I should go to first. Which would obviously be Yuri. Monika would probably taunt me and Sayori isn't too easy. Me first, huh? Yuri said it calmly as I sat down across from her. Sayori and Monika pairing up across the room. Well, yeah, I'm nervous, alright? Yuri smiled. I understand, but this exercise is good for all of us. I agreed even though I didn't really want to. Now let's see that poem of yours. I held mine out to her as she handed hers to me. I looked down at it eagerly. Undoubted with sharpness. Her wit and her charm, her physique and her thoughts, built up with an endless mixture of happiness, sadness, fear, and toxic waste. So little to be saved, yet so much to be scrapped, but nobody, not even I, would wish that upon her. Her honesty is what makes the day so much better for us all. It's what makes us all happy, and it's what makes us all safe. Why cover up your cooking mistake when honesty makes the pie taste sweeter? Why pretend it's okay when it's never been? Things to be thought and never to be fought. Things to be taught and never be bought. A few words and some good thoughts can change an entire outcome. Both though fear and though desperation. I cannot read this. The decision is made. The cursive is really, really hard. And mine is to stick through, even when I feel betrayed. She tried, so I'll try too. I looked up at Yuri. She handed back my poem, my smile coming up. You're happy with the results today, huh? Yuri smiled a little, her face showing slight comfort. I am. Maybe not entirely, but I am. I nodded as I held her poem out to her. She took it and laid it flat. So you understand then? You've caught on to things a lot better recently. I nodded as I pointed out my own poem. I mean, can't you see it in my writing? I tried to make it longer. Yuri smiled as she looked at me, my heart skipping a beat. I'm glad you tried too. I'm glad you tried to. It makes it makes this seem a lot better. Wow, I can't do anything. She got a pondering look on her face. However, length doesn't always mean better. It's how you use it, as that's what matters. I put a hand on my mouth, trying to contain my laughter. What? I'm critiquing your work. You should learn to use it. Not that you don't. I burst out laughing. Natsuki, seriously, what is so funny? I finally calmed down a little. It's nothing, it's just the way you phrased that. She seemed confused as she thought about it until her face Did I miss it?
Oh, okay. I'm not even gonna go into detail about that. Okay, yep. Sorry, don't worry, Yuri, that flew over my head too. I'm sorry. Yuri seemed completely in shock, my laughter still present. Why didn't you say anything? This is so embarrassing. I smirked widely. Don't be embarrassed. I winked. Plus, since you like spaghetti so much, I have a feeling those jokes will never apply to you. She looked at me with a gaping mouth. Shush, you have no idea who I am. I grinned, her dismay and flustered appearance complimenting her shy nature. I'll let you recover with Sayori, okay? I'm gonna go talk to Monica. I'm gonna go talk to Monica. My nose will not stop itching. Yuri covered her face in apparent shame as I stood up, my smile still wide. Hey! I said it with my grin still present, Monica looking at me curiously. So, what'd you do today that get her all flustered like that? I sat down and held my poem out to her, she did the same with me. Well, she was critiquing my poem, right? Monica nodded as she looked past me. I looked back and now Sayori was trying to boop Yuri out of her flustered state. She said that that length doesn't matter, and it's how you use that length that does. Monica covered her mouth, a small laugh coming. Come on, Monica, be genuine, please. Gosh, Natsuki, do you know what you've done? I laughed. Of course I do, it's a small part of my grand plan. Monica raised an eyebrow. What grand plan? I froze, realizing my mistake. You'll find out later, let's just read now. Monica giggled as she just shook her head, the two of us exchanging poems. Salvation! I seek the freedom that had not yet earned, not yet given to me, a freedom unlike any other, a freedom of life, freedom of choice, a freedom. The one that is given by friends. This was my salvation, my chance to change things. I could not bear the thought of death again, so I made my own path. I read over the poem several times, my brain slowly processing it. Doki Doki Salvation sounds like a good game name. Monica giggled. I have played that. Monica giggled. It does actually. The words contain a lot of meaning to it. I nodded as we exchanged poems back and forth, my smile yet still present. Monica. She looked down at me. I just wanted to say thanks, or whatever. She blinked a few times before smiling a little. You're welcome, Natsuki, but please, I should be thanking you. I felt my confusion take over. What? What for? She smiled more. For helping out with Yuri. I know she's calm today because of you, and I'm thankful for your help. I blushed a little. She's really isn't hard to deal with as you think. Monica nodded. I know. Well, actually, I don't really know. So any help is very much appreciated, okay? I cocked my head slightly. You don't really know? Monica nodded again. Yeah, we can talk about this all later. I have a lot to think about still. I smiled at her. As long as you know we aren't gonna abandon you, then it's up to what happens. She smiled. It seemed genuine. I know, and I'm grateful for it. I stood up, making my way towards Sayori. I glanced at Yuri, her face still a bit pinkish as she looked back at me. She closed her eyes a little as she stared at me. I stuck my tongue out to tease her before looking at Sayori. Heya! Sayori smiled widely as I could hear Yuri shuffle near us as Monica joined her. Hiya, Sayori. Is Yuri alright? I asked worriedly, wow, as she nodded in response. You got her good though. She's rarely ever flustered like that and still wanting to stay. I smirked. She's completely under my control. Sayori giggled. Don't let her hear that. I laughed with her as little as I sat down. I held out my hand for her poem, but she shook her head. Nuh-uh, you made it this far. Let's go ahead and face the final boss. I opened my mouth to respond, but closed it. Was that a gamer pun? Sayori stood up and cleared her throat, the other two looking back at her as they watched her speak clearly. Everyone should last their longest, fight their hardest, and be their best.
If it means doing the right thing for the right people. I used to pick up the glass by myself. Make happy thoughts without any help. But a little spark in my head. It made me think about it differently. My friends are family to me. They're the best in the whole world. I wouldn't last a day without them. I'd be tied up. That's not a good thing to say. Tied up in my broken shards. Now picked up and swept away. Replaced with the new ones. This is going by pretty slow. New ones that burn brighter than ever. Not to say that it's bad, but it was just like I had to wait like 5 seconds for every new phrase to come up. My mouth was hanging open. Sayori managed to go from happy and sad and back to happy in a matter of seconds. I shook my head. I don't know how I could compete with that. Sayori reached down and pulled me up out of my seat, my eyes widening. Sayori, come on, please. She smiled brightly. Do it, Natsuki. You have nothing to worry about. Oh no. Is this happening now? Is this legit happening now? I clutched my poem tightly. Oh no. She's reading her poem. I thought something different was gonna happen. I really don't. Natsuki, you can do it. It'll be fun. Monika spoke up in a cheerful voice. You're gonna let me beat you, are you? Yuri smiled brightly, her face still a little pink. I felt my defenses go down. Alright, fine. Don't laugh, it's bad. They all settled in, staring at me. Why are you all staring? Because you're sharing. Sayori gently prodded me. I sighed audibly. Alright, fine. Here I go. The gentle purring of the cat. The harsh bark of the dog. The quiet chirping of the birds. And the soft sounds of fire. All mixing in my head. The cats and dogs are angry at each other, but they find a way to work together. Even if they don't want to. I know exactly where this is going. I stopped speaking, my eyes closed. They hated it, didn't they? It's not really that long. I kept my eyes closed. Natsuki? I didn't respond. Crap. Natsuki! I opened my eyes. Sayori standing in front of me with a worried look. Why does everything look a little bit, like, brighter? Did you pass out? You finished your reading. I blinked a few times. I did? Was it good? I asked her hurriedly, Sayori smiling in response. Yes, it was very impactful. I blinked again. It was? She pointed toward Yuri and Monika, who were still looking at me oddly. I didn't really think about it as much as I should have. Yuri said it quietly as I looked over at Monika. Agreed, Yuri. I kind of underestimated that poem. She sighed audibly. But speaking always makes them seem better, doesn't it? She always... This is the part where they just start, like, saying, okay, now we're all just gonna share publicly. She looked over at Yuri, the two of them sharing a smile. A genuine smile. I felt my worries wash away as I relaxed. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it, because I'm never doing that again. Sayori giggled. Don't worry, I won't force you to do it. I crossed my arms. That goes for all of you. Don't even think about trying to convince me to do anything ever again. Yuri and Monika laughed as I sat down, Sayori joining me. Okay, everyone! I spoke loudly as I get up in front of everyone again, leaning a little and smiling. It's time for Coding Club! Yay, Coding Club! AKA Natsuki's favorite part of the day. Natsuki looks at me with a frown. Like you know, my favorite part is making dinner. Dude, same, honestly. Food is the best part of my day. I smiled as Yuri got up from behind me and put a hand on my shoulder. Well, what's on the agenda for today, Monika? She got next to the others, the three of them watching me expectantly. Today is going to be something other than colors. The silent yay from them was glaringly obvious. Today we're going to be editing parts of our own body. That's gonna go horribly wrong. In an effort to, again, expand our knowledge on our own character files. Yuri was listening intently, my words flowing out without hindrance. To put it simply, we'll be adding things to our own body. I pulled up my command prompt thinking for a moment. Let's try something simple. What's something that would look good on us? Sayori and Yuri seemed to both start to say something but stopped. Natsuki, on the other hand, looked like she might explode. Natsuki? She seemed to get snapped out of a trance, I'm sorry. What? Do you have something to say? A suggestion? She closed her eyes and smirked. Well, yes, actually I do. She remained smug as she reopened her eyes. How about we do a NEKO club? No! The silence that followed seemed to last forever. Yeah, no crap.
What? Natsuki looked at each of us. Did I say something weird? Kind of. I blinked a few times. Well, no, it's just sudden is all. Natsuki crossed her arms. Well, excuse me for having an interest in genetically engineered cat girls. We all stared at her, trying to figure out where this was coming from. Okay, I'm sorry. Sheesh, we could do something else. Sayori shook her head. No, I kind of think that'd be cute. No, Sayori, stay away. No, don't do it. Sayori laughed nervously. She looked away, a small smile on her face. Now I really want to see. No, don't. Now Monika's stooping down. This is not going the way it's supposed to. Well, if you think that's the proper direction, Natsuki, then I'll take your word on it. Natsuki seemed almost. Oh no, it's that word again. Oh no, it's the freaking. This is the word that practically shows up in New Eyes all the time, and legit, I cannot read it. Oh, and I'm never gonna attempt to read it ever again. I promise myself that. Yes, yes, yes. She cheered loudly before blushing intensely. I mean, this will be a good lesson. I looked back at my command prompt, thinking deeply. Now, how would I do this? Oh, jeez. I typed out a quick line of code, hoping I got it right. I can't tell what she looks like because it's our point of view. Monika? Sayori was staring at me, her mouth and eyes wide as possible. Is something wrong? I haven't tried this before. Natsuki was staring at me as well. Not at all, you look adorable. Sayori started to beam as she came over to me, patting my head. Hey now, don't act all touchy now. I felt my head, feeling the pointed ears for a moment. Alright, now then. I smiled. The rest of you, try copying what I just did unto yourselves. No, this is not going the way it's supposed to. Natsuki almost immediately pulled out her prompt up and entered in a code. And now she's a NEKO. Ah! Sayori bounced back a little as the ears popped out of Natsuki's head. What's up? Her fang was pretty obvious in her mouth. Ooh, I was right. Natsuki. Yuri was poking at Natsuki's ears. No, hey! Natsuki swatted at Yuri's hand. You're giggling. You're just like a kitten now. Natsuki humphed as she turned away from Yuri. Let me try now. Oh, this is not going the way I wanted it to. Oh jeez. Sayori pulled up her prompt and followed suit, a familiar pair of ears perking up. Oh my. I couldn't help but stare at the now exceedingly obvious cuteness. Yuri, come on, you do it. Natsuki pulled on Yuri's sleeve, the much larger girl sighing. Yes, I know. Yuri pulled up the command prompt. After a moment of closed eyed thinking, she finally entered in the line. Oh jeez. Cool. Now we all have ears of a cat. Whoa. Natsuki was staring hard at Yuri, the tall girl now gracing the room with her newly found features. Yuri reached up and pulled on her own ear. This feels strange, windy even. Natsuki smirked. Well, duh, now your ears are free without hair covering them. Yuri looked down at the much shorter girl, which is funny to say because Yuri's the only character model that doesn't have the ears like inside the hair, is what I remember properly. I don't know, maybe Monika does that. Yuri looked down at the much shorter girl. Do you not like them covered? It isn't what I meant, Yuri. I like them like that. Natsuki blushed as she corrected the smiling Yuri. I'm glad. I hope you like them no matter what. The two of them smile as I cleared my throat. Let's continue onwards with this, alright? We can try some other things as well. Shifting body size, shifting muscles. Natsuki smirked. I know the first thing I'm gonna increase the size of. Ah! Stop it! Why did I have to give her the thought? Oh, I'm very, very glad you skipped that. Phew. Monika said it softly as her phone went off, signaling the end of the coding club for the day. Alright, everyone. She smiled at Natsuki, whom already gotten up. Already off to cook? Natsuki nodded in her response. In response. I stood up as well and followed Natsuki, leaving the other two to their own devices. Hey Yuri, you joining me again, huh? She smirked as she looked at me. I looked away from her, unable to respond. Yo, it's alright. Sorry, I shouldn't tease you that so much. Especially not now, right? I looked at her and smiled. It would be appreciated, at least until tomorrow, when my nerves are finally calmed. She seemed to go into thought. You're really excited, huh? I blinked once. Yes, I am, I can't lie. Natsuki went over to the fridge, opening it up and looking through it. We're probably gonna have to go to the store after the festival on Monday. She looked at me as I struggled. We could just code it in. Natsuki went from neutral to offended in under a second. And ruin the fun of shopping? My eyes widened. No, I'm just saying if we don't know if the stores are even stocked. Natsuki's mouth closed as she thought about it. Well, it seems there's a lot of random things that are fully coded already, so I'm sure there's food at a store. I agreed with her as she pulled out the food from yesterday. Screw it, I'm too excited to cook.
I looked at her oddly. Oh, is this about the game? Smash? She nodded as she got out the bowls and spoons, pouring the soup into them. Yup, it looked super awesome in the advertisement. Plus, apparently that Odyssey game works in this world. So I'd guess that that one would work too. She put the rest of it back into the fridge as she pulled out the covered plates from yesterday. Doesn't look like Sayori touched any of them, that's good. She murmured to herself as I put the bowls into the microwave, turning it on to start the heating process. Thanks for the help, Yuri. I know it isn't a lot tonight, but can you blame me? I stayed silent watching the bowl spin. You okay? I looked at her. Not really. Not really, huh? Wait, hold on. She didn't even say that, and she's like, okay. I covered my open mouth. Did I say that out loud? She nodded as she scrunched up her lips, looking at the covered plates. It's all right. We can watch more anime tonight, if you like. I felt a small wave of relief. Yes, or if I enjoy it, that game that you talk about. She froze. Really? You really want to try all this stuff out? I nodded, a small smile on my face. You just have interesting tastes, is all. She laughed a little as the microwave dinged. The sound of the footsteps approached from behind us. I heard the microwave go off. Are we having ramen? Sayori had popped her head into the room, Monica following suit. They both looked curious. No, we're eating the soup from yesterday that you all avoided touching. This is punishment. Sayori pouted as she disappeared, Monica smiling. I had some yesterday, and it was delightful. Just let us know when it's ready. Natsuki scoffed. I'm just heating it up. Monica giggled. The soup or the room? Natsuki blushed immediately. Monica, come on! The mentioned club president left our view, my mind beginning to wrap itself around this unprecedented awkwardness. She's quite the stir. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end off this video when it becomes nighttime, or like when it becomes morning anyway. And then after that, I'll end it there, and then I know it's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but fine. Why not? I set it off to the side as I brought the soup out to the table, placing the next pair of bowls into the microwave. She enjoys it, which is why I do it back. I looked at her from the side, she sighed. It's annoying, but I like our little thing. It's fun. I felt a twang of jealousy? Why does this keep happening? So, you like Monica, huh? Natsuki looked at me oddly, her face contorted. Well, yeah, she's a good friend, and I'm sure with time you'll like her too, which you did at one point, right? I nodded as I looked back at the microwave, Natsuki still looking at me. Is something wrong? Natsuki shook her head in response. No. I don't like Monica in the way you're thinking, though. That would be weird. I felt my heart skip a beat. Wait, is this? She isn't my type. I looked at her, feeling my face burn up. What is your type, then? She picked up the plates, setting them onto the table as the microwave dinged again. The type that enjoys spaghetti. Oh god, food! Sayori appeared again with Monica laughing as she joined her. Yes, it's done this time, sheesh. Like, spaghetti? Did she just use that analogy to... I felt myself become increasingly flustered. Let's eat then. I sat down, picking up my spoon and practically shoving the spoonful of soup into my mouth. Ha! I swallowed it, but not without burning my tongue in the process. Damn it, it's still hot! Natsuki burst out laughing at this remark, Monica joining with a laugh of her own. Sayori looked at me confused. How did you manage that one? Natsuki's laugh continued as she spoke, my embarrassment rising even more than before. It's alright, Yuri, I do that sometimes too when I'm excited. I turned away, waving a hand over my mouth. I didn't even get water out. In response to a water glass appeared in front of me, Natsuki smiling at me. There you go. Don't forget it next time. I sipped from it gratefully as everyone settled in, our discussion starting soon after. After a little bit of discussing and feasting, Sayori finally said what was on our minds. So, what's under the plates? The plates were all tied up neatly with ribbon, Natsuki smirking widely at her question. Let me guess, they're cookies. Well, everyone is done, so go ahead and uncover them. We all went ahead and did as she said. Natsuki, what? Sayori had finished first. She held up a cinnamon bun. It looked homemade. Monica looked at Natsuki with a curious expression. I know you said you love eating those, so I figured I'd make you one. She stared at it, a little bit... Oh, there's the starry eyes again, I didn't even notice that. A little bit of drool dripping down her chin. Sayori, you're drooling. Monica said it softly, Sayori shaking herself. Sorry, I've just never been given something like this before. This is amazing, thank you so much. Natsuki grinned as Sayori bit into it, her gratitude becoming even more obvious. Oh, you shouldn't have, Natsuki. Monica pulled out a bag that appeared to be full of coffee grounds. There you go, that's gonna wake you up in the morning. Wait a minute, wait, coffee? At like 7 to 8 o'clock at night? That's not okay. I mean, I do that sometimes too, but like, you're not supposed to. how'd you even get these? Natsuki winked. The store. The place is full of stuff. Monica looked at her surprised. When did you get time to go there? Natsuki sighed. In the morning before everyone got up, I snuck out and went shopping for a few things. Monica frowned a little. Please don't do that. You could have been hurt, or worse. I don't know how coded everything is in this version. Natsuki rolled her eyes. Don't worry, I won't go again until after the festival. Monica seemed relieved as I pulled out a, she didn't. Wait a minute. I don't know what you're... Oh, is it like a knife or something? I held it looking at it very carefully. Oh, it was a chocolate. Way to go, Devin. You just assumed that somebody was just gonna pull out a knife. It was a chocolate bar, but it was the brand of and flavor that I enjoyed. Everything inside was lovingly wrapped, and actually, now that I think about it, that would be a really bad idea. Like, literally just last night, like, we just witnessed Yuri try to kill somebody or pull a knife on somebody. I don't think anybody would have given Yuri a knife after that, so that was kind of a dumb thought that I had anyway. Natsuki. There was a bottle of jasmine oil inside. Natsuki had a notable blush as she looked away from me. It was nothing, I just saw it and grabbed it. I looked at her smiling, that feeling coming back. Thank you, it's a little cold, so I'll have to warm it up. Natsuki nodded as she continued to look away from me. Just don't worry about it. I felt something run down my face. I wiped it off, it was wet. Tears? Yuri, are you okay? Sayori leaned over and looked at me. Natsuki looked over at me as well. Are you okay? Is something wrong? I put the bottle down and laughed. I'm fine, this is just, I don't get very many gifts. Or, I don't remember receiving very many, and after everything today, this is just... I felt my tears come out faster. Natsuki and Sayori jumped up and came over to me, hugging me from my sides, while Monica watched quietly. Sorry, Yuri, I really am. Monica said it softly as I looked up at her. It's fine, Monica, really. I'm happy we aren't so angry anymore. Monica smiled sadly. I know, but I'll make it up tomorrow, or later if tomorrow isn't enough. I smiled, my tears slowing down. It'll be alright. She laughed a little and I joined in, the two of us sharing a moment during all of this. Laughing? So I guess those were fake tears then. I laughed again, Natsuki puffing out her cheeks in her cute fashion. Cute? Anyways, are we ready to go play now? Like, I'm really excited. Sayori's eyes widened. Yes, I'm so ready. They rushed out of the room, leaving Monica and I alone. Sheesh, they can be like kids sometimes. Monica said it quietly. Yes, but they are enjoying themselves during all of this. I believe we could really learn something from them. I said it in response, Monica nodding. Yes, starting with me being truthful. And you opening up, huh? I looked at her, smiling a little. Indeed, it's a start. Monica sighed as she picked up some of the dishes, and I followed suit. It didn't take very long for us to clean up, and once we finished, we took our new guests with us out to the kitchen. There were the sounds of two cartoon characters fighting that was ringing out as we went to the living room to enjoy the rest of our evening. Is that nighttime? Is it gonna be morning? Oh, Devin. 4 Devins. I will personally introduce you to a misery with no end, dispel you from the world, introduce you to my tormented hands, and I couldn't read it! You're going too fast! We all love you. But we want to kill you. I love it. I'm gonna save it here. I'm gonna save it right there, because I feel like that's like the morning of where we all wake up and stuff. Or at least Monica wakes up. So, I'm enjoying this. Things took a turn today. I mean, part for the good, and then some of it just got really weird. But that's other than that, the mod, it's like, I cannot wait to see what happens during the festival and possibly even after the festival. I have a very strong feeling that it's gonna end like really like pretty much after the festival. Like if it ends properly, if it all ends properly, like a normal good ending or whatever, then I would have an assumption that, you know, oh, and everyone lived happily ever after as soon as the festival ends and all that fun stuff. But for now, I am going to leave it here. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I love an addition to the channel. Guys, we've got a Discord. Come check me out outside of YouTube. It's got a fun time for all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Hope to see you guys in my next one. Goodbye!